What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Purposeful Forever. She'll have a fabulous bastard, guys. Somehow my move, they're not found right now, but they will pop up. I was lost and now I'm found. All right.
You just don't want me to be great with my glasses, my party glasses. So we are still celebrating our 1 year this month.
Yes, indeed.
But my glasses are on, and my heart is hurting.
Oh, not the hardest.
Deep down inside.
Down. So appreciate you guys rocking with us as always. Make sure you're sharing. Sharing is caring. Let me put up the comments. But thank you guys for rocking with us. Whew. As we do this year, another year. First year together. I'm sorry. Not another. I'm moving this forward quickly. Very quickly.
Quickly.
So, as always, let's see. I got a couple of thingamabob right here. All right. Let's go ahead and start with our intro. Let's see. I think that's it right there. You know, we got something. All right.
Like I wasn't in the middle of talking. You are just. Oh.
What's up, Lisa? Great evening to you, my friend.
Welcome.
Welcome back.
Okay.
All right, so we're doing a lot. We're doing some clips of this past year.
All right, guys. So we got something great for you tonight. We have been doing this for a year, which we're celebrating all through this month. So we put together some clips of some of our favorite moments from some of the various interviews that we've done during the course of this year, or some of the things we said that were funny, or we thought like, oh, that's a good takeaway. So sit tight, watch with us, and comment as we show you the clips that we thought were pretty interesting. And the first.
Well, believe it or not, I live a very modest personal life. I don't get out much, you know. But a funny or embarrassing dating story. I don't know if I really got one of them. And I got one. I had a disastrous date.
Okay, we'll take that.
That worked too.
Okay. I met this girl at a house party years ago. And, you know, we seemed to hit it off or whatever. It was pretty cool. And, you know, we exchanged numbers and everything. And we decided we was going to go out to this concert that was here, that was in town. And I forgot who the artist was, but we said we was going to go to this concert. But anyway, I picked her up and everything seemed to be going cool. But then, like, during the date, man, she turned to my mama. You know, she started telling me, you know, how to act, how to do this, how to do that. And it was just crazy. And they were serving, the venue we was at, you know, they were serving drinks. And so I said, you know, I had me a couple of drinks or whatever. And then she started monitoring, you know, what I was drinking and how much and everything. And she was just giving all these instructions and then telling me what I should have wore or what I should wear and stuff. Like it got real bad. And so I got fed up, man. I told her, man, look, leave me alone. You know, like don't say nothing else to me for the rest of this day. Don't say nothing. Matter of fact, walk around the theater to see if you see another empty seat around here. Go on to take a video. You know, so, and what happened was we got into this argument, and when the concert was over, we got up, we walked out, but then when I looked around, she was gone. So I tried to call her. And I was like, where you at? And she was like, don't worry about me. I'm going to get home. And so I left it at that. I dipped out. I ain't never seen or heard from her again. I don't know what happened to that chick, man.
So as you can see, that was our first clip from our singles night. My brother Mark, he's a comedian, but he's always bringing it. Yeah. So we got a few of those in here, as well as some really deep ones. So this next one, let's switch it up a little bit. I had brother Elder Terrell and his wife. They spoke about he began to speak about the man and his marriage. You know, he came in one way and thought that was the way to have an effective marriage, but he kind of had a mind switch. You know, a reality check as to how it really should work.
Day one, I wanted the plate, and I ain't paid one bill. I ain't washed the car. I haven't come through. I haven't done the things that my father did to deserve that plate. So I just thought some things would be automatic, but even in our marriage, I had to work to show my wife that I'd be the kind of guy and the husband that's worthy to be treated that way, you know. And it's just important that you still, it's not a performance for sure. And you know, it's not a tick for tat, but you do want your wife to know that I'm earning your love. I'm working hard to show you that I'm somebody to be respected, that I'm somebody that you can do these things for.
Right.
So that was a great clip, you know, to hear a man honestly admit where they may have made some missteps, or just to be honest about, you know, what it really means to be the head of the house or be, you know, in that position. So that was a really refreshing comment from Ephraim.
Okay. Our next clip is from the same couple. It's the one marriage takeaway. That they one thing that they learned when getting married, kind of along the same lines of what we just saw. What is the one thing that you learned while you've been married? What's the one thing that you learned? One takeaway?
For me, and that's a good question, but for me, love, I used to rank love really high, and it still is very important. But you know, as we continue to be married and face life, I learned that wisdom rose up the chart a little bit more for me, understanding. I found that I had to be, you know, especially being the head of the house, making all these decisions, I had to be more informed about things. I just couldn't take a guess at stuff. I had to know. So I'm not saying love wasn't important, but we all know couples. You know, we watch Judge Mathis all the time. You see couples breaking up, talking about they still in love.
Right.
Can't stand one another. So I knew that love was important, but it, you know, to have understanding, try to get to know her.
Right.
You know, it's hard work trying to study a whole nother person. I was early 20, so I was still learning my own self. So it was, for me, I learned that love is important. I'm not knocking it. It's not, you know, a lot of people could still be in love, but probably couldn't stand one another. So that's kind of what I took from it.
Wow.
I think my biggest takeaway, or what I'm learning, is marriage is work.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times we look at the glamour of marriage. You know, you have somebody, you know, on your arms, and you know you're not alone. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work in the sense that understanding who you are, understanding, you know, the person that you're with, how you all fit into the big picture.
Right.
Individuality, but not being separate, and understanding that we work best together when we're whole individuals.
Right.
Oh. Listen, the way that it stops, I know my face is like, but yeah, that's you know, those takeaways, the things that, you know, somebody tells you has helped the longevity in their relationship. Hearing those is always a plus, because even if it's nothing more than a reminder or a caution, you know, it's always something that's worth hearing. So we love to hear, you know, what other couples are using and what are some of their methods. So that's always great to hear.
All right. So this next one was back on the singles night, and Mark tells this story about one of his first dates that was kind of a fail.
I did go on a date with this one chick, right? And I invited her back to the crib. This was a long time ago. I invited her back to the crib, and shouted, broke my toilet, man. She did. Like, you know, she went in there and used the bathroom, but then it wouldn't flush. And I remember she broke my toilet because she said, you know, she was having some stomach problems. And
What you
I
feed
had
her,
to
brother?
get like a bottle and like scoop it like a plunge and all that.
No.
I promise
Good.
you, my toilet would not flush. I promise you, I did. I had to fix it myself.
What did he feed her?
No.
Ain't nobody courtesy flush, huh?
Courtesy, she couldn't. I don't know. Listen, I don't know what she ate, but I hope she didn't eat it again because she killed my
This is
toilet.
so bad.
Okay, so
I love that clip.
So I'm sure we all have from our past or at some point, you know, them dating horrors. So to hear you know, Mark talk about one of his horrors was truly hilarious. Honestly, that whole show was extremely funny. It was really hard to get through because I was having a hard time not laughing. Also, it was kind of like that scary thing that you just kind of don't ever want to have to date again.
Right. All right. So, let's see. We're gonna switch it up just a little bit. Well, you know what? Along those lines, let's give a kind of ending with the not ending, but another part with the singles night. We're gonna talk about what does a healthy marriage look like to them, which are the singles.
Marriages. What's your idea of a healthy marriage?
Communication, being open, being able to show love not only in front of people but behind closed doors, achieving goals, having healthy, you know, mentally and emotionally stable children, just having that stable home environment where, you know, your children can come and go and they are happy. And of course, you know, there's good and bad times, but to love overcomes that. And so just to be able to see that and being able to mature with each other and grow.
Okay, and Trina, since you've been married before, so I'll ask you, how do you create that? How do you create the healthy marriage?
Well, like she was saying, definitely the communication. And I think a main point is having realistic expectations when you come in to the marriage. And, you know, you can't have like all these, and then having expectations that you communicate with your husband, because you can't, you know, go in thinking it's going to be this way and you didn't let him know that that's what you expected, you know. So.
Okay, and Mark, what's your idea of a healthy relationship?
Sex, lots and lots of sex. I believe sex conquers all. You know, I was told that if you ever get into an argument, they was like, if you and your wife get into an argument, argue naked. Take your clothes off and argue naked, and then the argument won't get out of control. Y'all will get distracted, have sex, and then y'all can work it out because y'all will have a level head. You feel what I'm saying? So you can just, like, you know, sex conquers all.
So yeah, that was another interesting clip from the singles. I just want to say on Mark's behalf,
Yes.
you know, after that initial comment, he did give a more serious one that somebody cut out of the clip.
Yeah.
So he didn't just say that.
Yeah,
he did say
Mark is a great dude. He said some great things during that. You need to go back and watch the whole show. That's kind of why we're showing it too, so you get an opportunity to get pieces of it. It was entertaining, but you learn a lot. Mark is a great dude, and he said some other good stuff. So,
but he definitely said some funny stuff.
Yes.
It is always good
Yes.
to have some humor and be able to laugh in your relationship as well.
Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. So my next clip is from an interview we had with Pastor Scotty Terrain and Chandra Terrain. And they had an amazing testimony, amazing story. This is this is kind of around the realm of when they first met and what went down afterwards.
And y'all dated for how long before you got married?
A month.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Well, we initially went out. Huh?
What you said before we got married?
Yeah, we went out. We initially went out. I called her Thanksgiving Day and asked her out. We started going out that day, and we got. I mean, later that weekend, and we got married January 31st.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, when we got back home after the first date, I was like, okay, what we gonna do? I mean, you know, I knew I had watched her. I knew her. I knew I wanted to marry her. So I just wanted to know, you know, what we gonna do, you know? And so we talked a little bit, and I think I turned to get out of the car to let her out, man. And when I turned back around, her homegirl was out the car, up on the steps, unlocking the door. And I was like,
He was trying to kiss me.
I got a job to do. What?
I didn't mention that. He was trying to kiss me.
So yeah, a month, 30 days, like that was, as you can see from my response, was like, wow, because I had known him since we were 15, went to high school together, started dating after high school, and then he still needed to date me for 3 years before he was sure.
And if you watch the show, I had to be sure of myself.
Right.
Be sure
before he was sure
myself.
that he wanted to be married to me. So yeah, 30 days, you know, that was incredible. And to still
get life to see the can again.
You know, that was a great start to their story, because it gets way more interesting.
Yes. So you definitely need to, I'm telling you, like, we're showing you these clips, giving you little snippets of it, but they're awesome interviews that we've had over the course of the year. All right. This one here is when they got together, that Chandra didn't know how bad Scotty's situation was.
Or what? It was crazier for us because I was in active addiction.
Okay.
She knew I was using, but she didn't know the extent.
Gotcha.
She knew using.
Right.
She didn't know anything about addiction.
Right.
So, and as addicts do, we're talented in the area of allowing you to see what we want you to see.
Right.
Oh.
All right. I'm sorry. That was quick.
That was a quick one. Yeah. So in that interview, Pastor Terrain talks about his former addiction, like a long time former. I don't want to give anybody any misinformation.
Right.
But he talks about, you know, the addiction that he had when they first got married. Do you have the clip?
I have the one where helped them change.
Okay, and then we're gonna do the follow-up clip to what he just. You pray, you know, you feel obviously some sort of relief and strength or whatever, and then you get up. Now, Chandra, at this point, you know, like you said, he was on a 13-day cycle. So I know, you know, you saw him pray, and you're like, okay, God did it. Right. And then day 12 hit. Are you looking at him sideways?
Of course. And then he's trying to, Samantha, he's trying to be the man, you know, be the head of the house. Right. But dude, you're not taking over no bills or nothing. So it took a long time for me to build that up and to trust him and to allow him to be the head that he was supposed to be. And it took a minute. Yes.
Yeah,
to build that trust.
Yeah.
So from that point, I'm guessing, you know, after the prayer, you felt different than you had in previous situations. Had you ever tried to get clean prior to that?
Yeah, I didn't feel any different. I didn't. Yeah, no. There was no great epiphany. No light came on. No angels singing. I just knew at that point
that you had enough.
Either take me out or this is it. It's got to stop right here. Right. And it wasn't like it was a cakewalk from that point.
Right.
You know, because between our house and my mom's house were 3 or 4 crack houses that I would frequent. One that I actually used to run. So there were times when I'd call her and say, I'm on my way home.
Right.
So, you know, 15, 20 minutes, if I'm not at home, then that you already know there's a problem. So, you know, I had to have her use her as accountability.
Right.
Had to, I put in several positions where I just had to determine, is this what I want? What do I want to do?
Right.
Do I want to stay with this forever? You got a family, things are moving forward, the Lord's blessing. What, you know, what are you gonna do? And just had to make the choice and do the work.
Right.
Do the work. Yeah, because I mean, I had prayed before. I don't think I had ever prayed with that sincerity.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But I was, because what I was seeing, I had seen in the military with some of my friends who were married.
Okay.
And, you know, in military, I was single. So if I go out, we're going to go out and we're going to blow $200 or $300.
Right.
I'm not worried about feeding anybody. When I eat, everybody, you know, and you know, they're taking food from the family, money from the family and that kind of thing. And I tell them, man, go home. Just, you got to get high at home, get high in your garage, but go home, be near your family. And what I saw was I was living out what I saw them do. And I was like, no, this isn't going to work.
That's fine.
Hey.
Yeah, you know, their story is really great on so many levels. It kind of shows you how even when trust is lost, and yeah, that was in a different situation, but he still had to rebuild the trust between the two of them. And it just shows you that it is possible to rebuild trust. It also highlights, you know, a man being accountable to his wife.
Right.
You know, not feeling like I'm the man, I'm the head, and I don't have to listen to you. You know, I can fix it on my own. You know, they leaned and depended on each other to get through that situation. So yeah, that story was really, really great.
So this next clip is going back to the Terrells, and they talk about finding a safe space. It's kind of coming all together with all of the stories, but finding a space to express who you are without judgment. All right. You had one perception. You had one perception about what marriage was, and you realized after a couple of fights, like maybe I'm the one that's wrong.
And it's nothing worse than having to come back and be like, hey, on second thought, that was kind of my, you know, it's me, you know. And once again, that goes back to that safe place, you know. If my wife was just nagging and just the type that couldn't wait to get me back, you know, it would be hard to come to her and say, hey, I messed up.
Right.
You know, I told you, you know, if she was, I would never admit anything. You know, how many people in relationships like that now know they wrong, but just can't admit it because the other person won't let them mess up.
Yeah.
And in our marriage, we got to save ourselves space to mess up, you know,
and not be perfect.
And
we have to feel safe, you know, in order to do that. And that's kind of, you know, what we've been, well, I don't know if you noticed, but I've been kind of saying that lately, you know, this is a safe place, you know, because otherwise you'll feel alone. And if there's any place you should feel protected and accepted and fully restored, it should be in your marriage. So, you know, if your spouse gets beat up in the world, they shouldn't feel beat up at home.
Yeah, that was a really great part. It always makes me think about the game tag. You know, in tag, you're running, and you looking to get to the home base. You're looking to get to home, to that safe spot. And once you're there, you know, you can't tag me. No, I can't be it because I'm safe. I'm safe here. And, you know, and sometimes we forget that in our relationship that we have to keep someplace safe. It's almost like keeping a sacred spot in your relationship where, you know, we have room to be wrong other. You know, that's really important. There's been times when you do something, especially if it's something that I'm like, I told you not to do it. It was gonna go bad.
Right.
You know, I had to learn that over the years that I told you so, you know, wasn't always the best approach.
Right.
You know, it is a learning process being married. You should be learning and growing, growing together, but growing as an individual as well. So, you know, that's important. Keeping and creating those safe spaces, you know, for each other.
Right. And I think with that, creating the safe space, you know, like we always talk about, it's not about being right, but it's about working it out, or, you know, trying to be able to build something bigger and better, as opposed to just who's going to be right, you know, who's going to be right. And I fall into that as well, you know, wanting to be right. She says something, I'm back at it. I did it. You did that, you know. So I do it as well. I do it as well. You know, but we do know what we should be doing in the course of it. And, you know, I have to eat crow later, you know, that I was wrong about responding that way. So that's definitely something big in relationships. Moving to something kind of lighter, how sometimes moving together, we have different ways of handling and doing things.
Right. My way is the right way.
Right. So you guys are married, you said 11 year-ish. So all together, so 11 years married, 12 years together. What's the one thing that may have surprised you about marriage? Like that, you know, because sometimes you discuss everything, you see stuff, you know, you come up in, you guys come up with a 2-parent household, you see stuff, and you're ready. And then there's some things that happen in the household and you're just like, what? Where did that come from? You know?
I think for me, I think I came in with certain assumptions. You know, we both came from similar backgrounds. I'm from a Christian 2-parent household, and so is he. His parents have been married for about 40 years. My parents have been married for 39 years. So I think we make the assumption that, well, we're so similar that we automatically, you know, agree or, you know, think the same.
Right.
But it hasn't been that way. I think that's what was so surprising to me. It's like, okay, well, why would you think that? But not knowing, even down to, you know, do you put your ketchup in the refrigerator? Do you put it in a cabinet? You know, so and you just kind of
cold ketchup though.
You said what's that?
Do y'all do cold ketchup, or do you like do room temperature?
You do cold ketchup.
Unsanitary. Like, to me, it just seems so unsanitary, especially in the South. To put something like that in a cabinet.
And it's clear. It says on there you don't have to refrigerate it, but
this it just seems unsanitary.
But something as simple as that.
Right.
Or what you're trying to say about how I was raised.
Right.
You know,
I look at the cabinet. You're like, we had a ketchup already?
Yeah, that was a good one. The great ketchup debate.
Right.
That's what that should be called, because I think in a lot of households you debate the smallest of things.
Right.
And you don't really think about it again until you move in with somebody. You know, when we first got married, I had already prior had my own apartment. I had moved out and lived on my own. He had. So now we get married and we moving in together. And it was very, very interesting, to say the least. Because, you know, at this point, I'm used to having things my way because I had lived on my own, and he was used to something very, very different.
I grew up a different way.
Right, a very, very different way. Oh, but you know, when you get married, you figure
spaghetti set. Intermingle.
We're not okay. Let's not take a poll because you will lose. Spaghetti is always better when you mix it together.
Separate. Then you put it on the plate.
Who wants white noodles on a plate? Nobody wants to eat that. Okay, we getting,
All right,
as you
all
can
right,
see,
fine.
we still debating over some things all these years later. So we're gonna move on to the next
Yes.
clip.
All right. So, going back to the terrains, taking some of the steps. So this is the some of the steps. See, we moving on. Are we supposed to be moving on? The steps. So we're gonna talk about some of the steps he took to get away from the addiction. And this one is like, this is really good.
I guess for you, Pastor Doreen, it's the decisions, those daily decisions. Like you said, between Monday and Thursday, you didn't really have to think about it too much. It was hitting those Fridays and Saturdays that making those decisions and not allowing yourself to go down that path that led you to making the even harder decisions. So in like she marked the cycles, right? So once you got past, once you got past the side eye and that cycle of the 13 days, now we had 15 and 16. Was there like, did you feel a breaking, like things are shifting for yourself? And then I want to ask Lady Terrain the same thing.
No.
Okay.
No, because understand, I've been in this thing at that point for like 11 years.
I got you.
I've been in addiction for 11 years. So in those 11 years, I had some clean periods.
Right.
So I already know if I don't do what I need to do, this monster will jump up.
Right.
Again.
Right.
It's not enough for me to take him down.
Right.
I got to take his head off.
Right.
The only way I could take his head off was be super vigilant, just in terms of, who I hung around, thought process.
Right.
And just and one of the biggest things that she helped me with was she said, just admit you like getting high. What's the pearls? Like, you know what? I like to get high. I just can't manage life.
Right.
And get high.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And once the cover was pulled off that, then I could deal with it. And then as you start to dig, then you understand that really I'm self-medicating. There's something else I don't want to deal with.
Right.
Something else I don't want to look in the face. And and ultimately I determined I didn't like who I was.
Right.
Because I really didn't know who I was, because I was always, are you gonna be like your brother? Are you gonna be straight A student like your brother? So I didn't even know who I was supposed to be. So being rebellious, I took a 180-degree turn.
Right.
And went the other way.
Right.
So yeah. So it man, all of that. And while not using is great,
right.
But how do I say this? It's possible to be a clean addict.
Oh, we're back. Hey!
Obviously, you can see we doing a lot in the background while those things are going on.
Yeah.
I know some of you are listening to the clips and like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, people talk about, have talked about so much.
Right.
But the goal, of what we do is we want someone else to hear somebody else's story and maybe see your situation is workable. There are answers. There is a way out. There is a way through. So that's the goal of the conversations we have, and even down to the couples that we choose to come on here. We often feel like there's something in their story or in the life that they live that could be beneficial to another married couple, engaged couple, or even, a single person looking to step over into the marriage arena.
Yeah, so this is kind of after going through the process, learning a lot about who he was or who he is. This is I label this as like after the addiction, and how he continued to conquer.
So I guess my question was, like you said, you can not get high and still be an addict. So what did you fill that space with initially?
Church.
You said what?
Church. Initially, church and family.
Okay, church and family. Okay.
Yeah, initially church and family. Yeah, because the God can work as He chooses.
Right.
I believe that there have been some people who went to the altar, wherever that was for them,
Right.
and they got up and they desired no more alcohol, no more drugs, no more whatever. That wasn't my case, and I don't know. I believe it was to enhance ministry for now, but it was a process.
Right.
So when I prayed, I think God heard me, and what God did was help me to manage what I was going through rather than take me out of what I was going through.
Right. Okay.
So when I get a check and I walk out and I get in the car and I break out in a cold sweat, I gotta know I already gotta have a plan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The using is the last step in addiction.
Right.
You already, by the time you pick up, you already fell off.
Right.
You know, and so yeah, it was church, and I was in a singing group, so that took some of that, and family, and just start to rebuild your life, rebuild the places that have been torn down. One of the greatest memories that I ever had, I shared two with you. One, because she told her mom didn't come to the wedding. Mom was not in favor of the marriage. She never disrespected me, but she just made it be known I ain't with this.
Right.
We were sitting at her kitchen table one weekend, and she came in the kitchen and she gave me a key to her house.
Wow.
That's when I said, "Oh, I'm in." Touchpoint. I made it. And the other one, what was the other one? It was the key. God, I forgot. I was trying to read Sean's comment. Forgot that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. There you go.
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. He built your strength to overcome. Right. Yes, he did. Or to overcome slowly. It was your mom. It was another one. Maybe it'll come back to me. Oh, I know what it was. Having the ability to go in a store and buy something if I chose to, and walk out because I didn't want to.
Right.
Okay.
So explain that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you become, many people in addiction become so used to, your life is driven by whatever your addiction is, whether it's drugs or alcohol. So you're constantly, you get some money, you go into the dope house, or the dope man's coming to your house, but it's, you're not shopping, you're not going to the grocery store, you're not going to the movies, you're not doing you're not living life. Right. And to be able to have $50 in my pocket and to walk into what Walmart then, what was it? Used to be right there on 70.
Maxway.
Maxway.
Oh, Maxway.
I would walk into the Maxway and just walk around and look like I got $1 million. And decide, you know what? I don't even want none of y'all stuff. I'm out of here. It was just, you start to experience life. You start to live again.
Wow.
Yeah, that was really refreshing just to see. I think at some point we've all known somebody that has been in addiction, suffered through that, some that have never made their way out. So to hear him talk about not only making his way out, but then creating a successful life after was really great. And also, his wife standing by his side. Again, you would have to watch the video to fully understand, because we're not telling you to stick in no kind of situation.
He breaks it down.
Right. We're not advising any of that. You actually have to watch their full story to understand. But it is a great story. And we're going to show you our last clip.
Yes. This is the power of communication. How really communicating makes a difference, but she breaks it down.
And also, I think that in the beginning, I don't think we really knew how to communicate. And I know that's a word that comes up every time you talk to about marriage.
Right.
I think recently we've learned how to communicate, especially when a need that we have is not being met.
Right.
I think in the past you kind of, you shy away from certain topics, for fear of I might offend him, I might hurt his feelings, or, I don't want to upset him. But at the same time, the feelings are still there. Right. So even though I don't say it verbally, right, I'm saying it through my emotions. I'm saying it through, the eye rolls, or I'm saying it, through silent treatments and stuff. So I think we just started learning how to say in love, this is, where I am. This is what I need. And this is how I felt when this happened.
We all know communication is very important in any relationship, but in your marriage, that much more so, because you want to communicate from a place of being considerate, not just being angry. You have to be careful what you say and how you say it and when you say it, because all those things matter. So that was our last clip.
Yes.
Just showing some of the interviews that we've enjoyed over the year, right, that we've been doing this. Again, we have been doing this for a year. I have my glasses, so I'm not winning. But during the course of the year, we have to be thankful and grateful, right, to our friends.
Yes. Yes.
And all the couples that have come on,
right, and
been willing to share their experiences, to be transparent.
Yes.
We're thankful to our pastor,
yes,
and our first lady for being supportive of us, being in our corner. They also did an interview during the course of the year. Our pastor for constantly talking to us, with us, sharing and correcting at times.
All right.
All of these couples, like I said, are people that we've known over the years that have seen, some of them have seen us at our worst and continued to be a part of our story, right, to, even see us at our best.
Right. Definitely. So we appreciate you guys. We appreciate all of our couples. That was just a snippet of some of the couples and some of the highlights. Over the course of the year, of course, we're going to show more. And if you want to check them out, of course, go to the Facebook page or the YouTube page and subscribe, and check it out. Give us some comments. Let us know what you think. And give us some ideas on topics, what you would like to see. You can inbox us. You can go to Facebook as well as YouTube and put some comments and let us know what you want to see. Okay.
Yeah. So the last thing we're going to show you, I don't know if this is your first time watching us, you probably don't know much about our story, but we got married initially in 1997, right?
1998. Well, 97 was okay. Sorry.
Right. We got married in 1997. And we were married for 19 years, yes, and then we got divorced for 3 years. And so recently, yes, we were blessed enough to reconnect on so many levels, yes, and actually have another very small, very intimate ceremony due to COVID. Thank you. So we're going to show you a clip of it if you haven't seen it, just of our ceremony, basically with mostly just our family.
Yes.
So thank you guys for supporting us. Thank you for making this year journey,
yes,
incredible on so many levels.
Can't believe it's a year.
Yeah,
it's kind of rolled up on us.
Yeah, it definitely did. And it's been a learning process.
Right.
For
what's up, Chris?
For us. Oh, Chris. Yes, and Chris, I always remember you with the monkey. Don't ask. But yeah, so we're gonna show you the clip of our ceremony. Thank you again.
We want to close it out. So as always, love intentionally,
love unconditionally,
and love on purpose.
It's been a million days and a million nights. Oh, I still remember how your love changed my life. It's not enough words in my vocabulary to express how I feel, and I still pinch myself just to see if it's real. Said a man ain't supposed to cry, but I'll put my pride aside.
Do you take this woman to be your wedded wife? And do you earnestly promise before God and these witnesses that you will love her, comfort her, honor and keep her in sickness and in health, and that forsaking all others for her alone, you will perform under her all the respect that a husband owes to his wife, until God by death shall separate you? And your answer is simply, I will.
I will.
Samantha Wilson, do you take this man to be your wedded husband? And do you earnestly promise before God and these witnesses that you will love him, comfort him, honor, and obey him in front of these witnesses in sickness and in health, and that forsaking all others for him will perform unto him all the duties that a wife owes her husband, until God by death shall separate you? And you will answer with, I will.
Since I've known you, since we've been each other's lives, and since you rode your bike to see me and called me in college from your work phone, long distance call, we spent time talking, I've known that you've cared for me more than anyone else in the world. And now that I know what I need to do as a husband, being in this place again is exciting. So I vow to you to always protect our marriage, to protect our union, to be here even when I'm physically here, be here all the way, to hear you even when you don't speak, and to know what you want to eat even when you don't say it.
Since 1991, I can't ever say there's been a time where you haven't been a part of my life. We've grown together, cried together, grown apart, cried apart, reconnected, and learned how to love through the good, bad, ugly, and other. I vow to forgive and be kind. I vow to give you all of my heart. I vow to continue to be your best friend through it all. I thank you for being constant, even when I didn't want you to be. I look forward to our tomorrows together.
I pronounce that they are husband and wife together. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Those whom God has joined together, let no man